Hey guys, welcome back. Happy spring. Sitting out here on this rainy, snowy mix of a Saturday in the teepee, enjoying a little heat from the fireplace, and wanted to talk a little bit about fishing. Last season, I got a lot of questions. Why in the heck do I run so many fly reels? And then beyond that is how I'm setting them up. So, wanted to go over a little about that with you today. I feel like there are some definite advantages and disadvantages to running fly gear on your or as a main part of your tackle. So let's get started. I grew up in Lincolnville on the Duck Trap River, and feel lucky that growing up I was still able to legally target Atlantic salmon that ran every year up there, and had quite a lot of success from the time I was 10 to 15 years old doing that, and really enjoyed that, along with learning some of my trolling techniques from my grandfather and uncles. The nostalgic part of the fly reel, the Pflueger Sal Trouts, that to me just brings back some memories as being a kid, and I don't know. So that's one of the main reasons why I really like the feel of a fly rod, and just feeling like it kind of brings me back to where I learned. Secondly, I've learned as we've moved on that fish can be finicky and they can be very smart. And I feel like with fly line as opposed to lead core, you can get kind of a sneakier approach in the water. You may be able to entice some of those finicky fish, or some of the ones that have been around the block and kind of know what they're seeing. You may be able to fool them. So that's one big reason that I like using them. Other than that, for me, it's just a personal preference. The disadvantages, I mean, they're a one-for-one crank. You're not gaining a lot of line. The fly rods don't have the backbone that a trolling rod has. On the flip side of that, you're going to really be able to feel that fish and enjoy that fight, whereas you're just reeling in kind of something that you can't feel every action that fish makes. To put a little further, when you're targeting smaller species of fish or larger species, the fly rod or the lighter rods tend to give you an idea of what's happening much quicker than you might see on one of those stiffer rods. So without going too far down the rabbit hole with all of my fishing past, basically I have like 4 different setups that I keep in the boat all the time, and they are just ready to go. I fish them almost every time I'm out. All right, let's start right off with the Redington Behemoth 7/8. This one's in a gunmetal gray. I have it on an Echo Ion fly rod, and this is actually the reel that I caught my 7-pound rainbow out of McGonagall. This reel, I am running the Rio Lake Series Fathom in a 7. And I really like this line. This slides through the water well. I believe it's a 7 or an 8 IPS, which I am getting tons of sink out of this. This actually, foot for foot, seems to do better than lead core. I think it has to do with the coating on the line. It just seems to cut very well through the water. I can easily get 18 to 22 feet in depth with this fly line out and running about to the backing point, and it pulls really well. You can't see it in the water. This is a black line with a gray Maine running line, and I pull everything from flies to smelts, smaller size spoons. That is really one of my favorites. Moving on from that, I also keep in the boat this is same reel set up in the desert tan, I believe, and I run one with floating line. And why I do that, we fish a lot in the spring with the Big John otter boats. It's really important to have a fly line when in the early season, when the water's cold and I fish a lot for rainbows and brookies. They seem to really shallow up in those areas where it's sandy. It warms up during the day. It's nice to be able to put that otter boat out and skim something right over the surface in less than 2 feet of water, not worrying about getting snagged up, because you're all set with something that is just under the surface. So that's definitely one that you gotta have. That's on a different rod. We're gonna talk about that in just a second. And then I've got multiple in the 11-12 Redington Behemoth. This is another one in gunmetal gray. So I set these up differently. These are set up with 6 to 7 colors of light lead. Then what I do is I top that with a sinking fly line. Now, it's not quite as aggressive as the Rio Fathom as far as the sink rate. This is only about a 5 or a 6 IPS. And but what I like to do that for is so that this rod is super versatile. I can use this like a lead core, but if I need a fly line, basically all I have to do is just let the fly line out, and there I am. I'm fishing. So this rod can quickly go from fly line. If I see something on the fish finder, or I know that we're going to drop over, you know, a ledge of some sort, I can spool out a couple of colors and really drop that right into place. So this is awesome. We use these striper fishing. They work phenomenal. Like I said, same drag system. Awesome. I do keep a couple of Pflueger Medalists on hand, and this is just with a full sink fly line on it. These don't sink a lot, but you're going to get probably 3 to 5 feet of sink out of these, and they work great if the salmon are up top early spring feeding on smelts. It's nice to have a couple of these set up ready to roll. Put one on each board, one out in the prop wash, whatever you need to do to keep salmon chasing after your smelt. So we talked a little bit about backbone of a fly rod and how sometimes the fish may have you outmatched. So what I've done is I keep an extra rod on hand, usually either a 7 or an 8 foot. These particular ones are Shakespeare, but I got some Daiwa ones as well. And basically, these are great because they work in almost every rod holder, where anyone that knows, you've got to have a downeaster or a certain type of rod holder to run your fly rods. Well, this kind of takes that out, and what I do is I buy these in the extra fast action. It gives so that just the top third of that pole is what's bending, and what it does is it just really gives you some spine and allows you to put pressure on fish that your fly rod, you know, may not. This pairs really well with the otter boat as well. We have fantastic luck running them. I just kind of like the versatility with switching to something that will go in and out of rod holders quite easy. So anyway, that's kind of the reels that I use. Let me know if you've got any questions. There are a few other things that I do that may be of interest that will probably come up in another video as we're showing you how we set up the otter boat with the clips and all that. But anyway, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for watching. If you're still here at this point, hey, make sure to go subscribe if you haven't already. We do appreciate each and every person who supports the channel, and look forward to making you some more videos.